of the online lecture of ISE 376, Innovations and Entrepreneurship. So in the first part of the online lectures, we have talked about what is process innovations and why process innovations, and then we also have gone with a lot of examples to illustrate what are the process innovations that have been done by other organizations, what are the benefits they have brought. So now in the second part, we will focus on how we are going to enable to do some process innovations. So we're going to introduce design thinking. So this is my favorite definitions for design thinking. So it consolidates all the keywords and the key concepts here. So let's look at this sentence. So design thinking is a non-linear, iterative process which seeks to understand users, challenge assumptions, redefine problems, and create innovative solutions to prototype and test. So what does mean? So there are a lot of concepts here that bring together that in the design thinking's ways of problem solving. So before I go to explain all this, let's look at a video that will provide some example of what are the differences of design thinking compared to traditional way of problem solving approach. So let's have a view of this video first, and then we will come back to explain more about design thinking. So yes. Here.
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically
is a 5-step process to come up with meaningful ideas that solve real problems for a particular group of people. The process is taught in top design and business schools around the world. It has brought many businesses lots of happy customers and helped entrepreneurs from all around the world to solve problems with innovative new solutions. Step 1. Empathize. The purpose of Step 1 is to conduct interviews that give you an idea about what people really care about. We need to empathize with their situation. For example, if you want to help old people, you might find that they want to keep the ability to walk around. In your conversations, they might share with you different ways they can do that. Later into the interview, you'll want to dig a little deeper, look for personal stories or situations where things became difficult. Ideally, you redo the process with many people with the same problem. Step 2. Define the problem. Looking at the interviews, you can now understand the actual needs that people are trying to fulfill with certain activities. One way to do that is to underline the verbs or activities that the people mentioned when talking about their problems, like going for a walk, meeting old friends for tea, or simply going grocery shopping around the corner store. You might realize it's not so much about going out, but more about staying in touch. After your analysis, formulate a problem statement. Some elderly are afraid to be lonely. They want to stay connected. Step 3. Ideate. Now focus only on the problem statement and come up with ideas that solve the problem. The point is not to get a perfect idea, but rather to come up with many ideas, like unique virtual reality experiences, senior-friendly hoverboards, or a modified pushcart. Whatever it is, sketch up your best ideas and show them to the people you are trying to help, so you can get their feedback. Step 4. Prototype. Now take a moment to reflect on what you have learned from your conversations about the different ideas. Ask yourself, how does your idea fit in the context of people's actual lives? Your solution could be a combination of a new idea and what is already being used. Then connect the dots, sketch up your final solution, and go build a real prototype that's just good enough to be tested. Step 5. Test. Now test your prototype with actual users. Don't defend your idea in case people don't like it. The point is to learn what works and what didn't, so any feedback is great. Then go back to ideation or prototyping and apply your learning. Repeat the process until you have a prototype that works and solves the real problem. Now you are ready to change the world or open shop. To experience design thinking firsthand, do the free virtual design thinking crash course from Stanford's D School right now. You will learn to design a new gift-giving experience. Find the link and a guide for facilitators in the description below. After you are done, share your experience and gift idea in the comments.
Okay.
To learn more,
Let's go back to yes. So I hope this example will give you some understandings of what the design thinking approach compared to the traditional approach. So let us have a look here. So you know, as I mentioned, design thinking is a problem-solving approach. So if you compare with the traditional approach, there are a few areas that design thinking is very different from the traditional approach. For the first one is the traditional approach always assume you know the questions, you know the problem, what the problems you're going to solve. What you need is just to find the right answers. But for design thinking, they kind of like more humble. They don't, when you're given a project, when you're given a problems, they actually kind of like try to verify if that is actually the biggest problems that you should concern about, that you should work about. It is more important to ask what is the right questions. It is more important to find out what is the right problem to solve, rather than assuming you know what you're given is already the answers, is already the right questions, and you just look for solutions. Okay, so this is a key differences between traditional approach and design thinking. So that is what it means from the definitions before to challenge the assumptions, to to understand from the users, to try to verify what is the right questions. And then the second point is the traditional approach, problem-solving approach, is very much focused on solution. So they are very rushed to try to get the solutions to solve the problems. They're focusing a lot on more the technical aspects of the solutions, but design thinking is more human-centric. So you know there may be multiple solutions, but the most important things, the best solution is always focus on human needs, human values, and actual needs. So if you think about the examples just given before, so they try to find the solutions to help the elderly to walk. So rather than just focus on how to provide a solution that can make them walk more easily, they also focus on what actually the elderly needs, which in the video you can see the elderly is very concerned about if they stay connected with others. So your solution should all consider about the human aspects. The solution is about how to help them to achieve those human values. Like for this case, is how they are able to use your to to be able to at the same time to be able to connect it with other people. And then traditional approach is they assume the world is ideal, everything is perfect, there should not be errors and there should not be mistakes. So they kind of like have a view of flightless planning. So they plan for everything. They assume this job will be done in 2 weeks and the next job can be just right after this one and then spend for 3 weeks, for example. But design thinking, they actually enlightened trials and errors. They know that the world is not perfect. You need to usually you need to commit mistakes before you can have a lesson learned, before you can discover new things, before you can correct your errors and move on to a better solutions. So the idea behind is failure is not a problem. The most important thing is you have the courage to try, and then if you are failure, what the most important thing is understand the reasons and learn the lessons from that. So that is the come to the next point. So a traditional approach is more like afraid of failure, and the design thinking approach is fail fast and learn from the failures. So if you need to fail, that's all right, but of course you don't spend too much time in something that doesn't work. So you fail, it's okay. You just learn from the failures, and then you based on the learnings, you have another trial. It may fail again, but it isn't. Is all right. So what are the new things you learn from your second trial? Something like this. So the next point is for the traditional approach is design for. So it means that I'm the expert. I am going to design the solution for you. You just kind of like listen to me. I can find you the best solutions. But for the design thinking approach is design with. So it is designed with the end users. So they try to understand the views, the values, the perspective, the feedbacks from the end users. They always kind of like check in with the end users of what they are doing. Is that the right things to do? Is that really what they want in terms of the solutions? So this is a more humble approach and more focused on the feelings and the needs of the end users. So because of this, the traditional approach is more like a silos approach, meaning I just do it myself. I just design the things, find the solutions. I can work on the solution myself. But for the design thinking approach, is more collaborative. There's no single persons that can design the solutions. You always need to work with other people, especially with the end user. You work with them together to find the best solutions together. So I'm not the expert. I need to take feedbacks from others. I need to understand values of each other. I need to understand the feedbacks. Even the feedbacks is negative, is okay. You just, the most important things is not to defend that, but kind of like try to understand what you're missing out. What are the points you haven't been considered, and how you can improve from there. And the traditional approach is, because of this, it's very rigid, it's very ideal. So certainty is key. They assume everything is certain, timeline is certain, solution is certain. Once they complete this, the user will certainly be happy with that. So it's kind of like a concept. They assume everything is so very clear, very certain. But the design thinking approach is they embrace ambiguity. So ambiguity. So you basically, they kind of like thinking something that's not clear is right, is okay, as long as you learn from this, as long as it is just the nature of problem solving. You cannot always know what is right at the first time. It's just the nature, it's just the process. You need to go through mistakes, and you need to go through trials and errors to find the right directions. So this is the very different mindset thinkings between the traditional approach and the design thinking approach. Okay, so how you use this design thinking approach methodologies to do process innovations. So process innovation is about finding and solving problems around process performance, both efficiency and effectiveness. So innovation is always about solving new problems. So your process may work fine, existing process may be good, but there are always areas you can improve in terms of both efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency means you can maybe make it work faster, make it more cost effective, make me work faster. And effectiveness means that it focus on the right things to do. So it really be able to solve produce the right result. And the design thinking is the best to use in this case. So there are 5 key steps in leveraging design thinking for process innovations. The first thing is to redefine the problems or to create new versions. So you always have to challenge what you're given. Is that the problems you're given is the right problem to solve? Is that this is another way to look at the problem? So make sure that you usually, if the process is a customer facing process, so the feedback from the customer is very important. So you may try to improve the process. You try to think that the customer may want this, but before you do that, before you're very certain what you're going to do is right, you should always check with the customers, with your end customers, what they think are the real problems, what are the real pain points. So from that, you will can be able to see the problem from a customer's perspective, and then you may be able to redefine the problems and create new versions for that. The second step is divergent thinking. Divergence means if you go back to the the innovations funnel we have talked about in part one. So it is very similar to this case. So divergence means basically is similar to the idea generation stage. So divergence means you're open to all ideas. The most important things is at this stage is you try to generate as many ideas as possible. Try to don't limit your thinking. Don't limit it by don't try to constrain yourself. So just even though the idea seems crazy, even though the idea seems impossible, you try to think of all that, and then create a list of what all those ideas that you have captured. So this is a very important step in design thinking. Don't limit what you think is possible. So try to get the list, and then you will be able to verify this with your end users, with your customers, with your colleges. So so the second step is to make sure you have a list of all the crazy ideas even to be generated. And then the third step is to develop a prototype. So once you have different ideas, you screen the ideas, you need to further develop the ideas. Again, it's very much like the innovation funnel. So you prototype means you build a testing model. You build you try to outline the design, try to outline what the solutions looks like, and then based on this solution, because you need to have something that you can talk with the end users. You cannot just be very abstract, and then people don't understand what you're talking about. So that's why you have to turn the ideas into something that people can see, can comment, and feedback. So once you have this, you can go to the next step is to test and collect feedback. So basically, you tell people this is the things I think. This is the things is my prototype. This is my new way to solve the problems, and then let them feel that, let them see that, and then collect the feedback. Do they feel this works or not? Do they think there's any area that you can further improve? Try to understand the rationale behind. Try to understand from their perspective. Don't try to just like a video mentioned. Don't try to defend yourself. Try to reject others' ideas, because the most important thing is you understand what other people is thinking about your prototype, your design. So, and then once you collect the feedbacks, when you test it, something works, something doesn't, right? So you can iterate, you can based on the informations, you can move it, change it a little bit. Now it becomes the second versions, and then you test with your users, test with your other people as well. So, and then until to maybe you need to go through a few rounds, and then now you will come to have a a revised versions of your prototype that most people will be satisfied. So that is almost to the end point at that particular point of time. So that may be something that's to the end you will have something that most people think that this is really good ideas. be able to solve the problems, and then be able to satisfy what the end user really needs. Okay. So based on my experience of that I have done on a lot of process innovations projects, there are some tips I want to highlight here to make this success. The first thing is always talk to customers. That's what I mentioned. Talk to customers, perform process analytics to get insights and direction for process innovations. Okay, so sometimes, of course, you understand the importance of why we need to talk to customers, but sometimes you may not be able to talk to customers, or the customers may not be able to give you too much insights. There are also some scenarios that you should do some process analytics, so such that you can understand the process performance patterns. So, for example, you understand what are the bottlenecks of a particular process, what are the exceptions usually run into for a particular process. So based on this information, you will have a feeling of where the process are not working well. So this is give you some good insights of where you should improve, and maybe it will lead to like more understandings of the process itself, why it doesn't work very well. And the second thing is, of course, is to involve all the stakeholders. Stakeholders is not limited to your customer, your suppliers. Sometimes your process will have impact to the environment as well. So just imagine if you are a manufacturing company, right? Your manufacturing process, you may be producing pollutions to the environment. So it is not just you in order to have a process improvement, process innovations that able to cope with different prospects. You sometimes need to make sure that you involve the government or environmental agencies in some cases as well. So in the manufacturing process cases, it's good that you get the involvement from the environmental protection agents. So they maybe give you some feedbacks on how to make sure that your process is not, causing negative impacts to the environment. So all the feedbacks are good. A good process is something that can balance all different needs. Okay. So the first step is create a team culture that failure is valued and learn from mistakes. So every idea is a good idea. So if you really is a team, if you have a team leaders, you have a team that works together for process innovations. So you should always build a culture that everyone's free to speak of what they think is good, what they think is a good idea. Don't try to blame other people if they think doesn't work, because if you keep doing this, then sooner or later, then no people is going to voice out what they think, because they are afraid of being seen as a mistakes. They being accused of not giving good inputs, for example. So you have to understand that failure is just normal. Failure is just a nature of the processes. So a culture created to value them, to value everyone that provide inputs. And then if we have mistakes, then we just, all of the people in the team just learn from it. It is more difficult to say than to done, but this is also a critical. This is the most difficult step as well. Is critical. So if you need to be successful, you must be able to get this step done right. And then you need to have a clear roles and responsibility and well-defined process innovation. So don't think that process innovations, because I'm innovation, I don't need a structured approach. This is the same as the innovations funnel that we have discussed before, you need to have a structured approach, to manage the ideas, to manage, to develop the ideas. You need to have a structured approach for everyone to collaborate on developing the ideas. So innovations at the back to the end, they need a structured approach to help you to develop the process innovation. So this must be a very clear roles and responsibility in the process. Who are going to do what? Okay, who are going to provide ideas? Who are going to reveal ideas? Who are going to make a decisions of what ideas are okay, what ideas are not okay? So you need to have all this built in, and then you have a structured approach. Then you'll be able to consistently getting some good ideas that can turn into innovations. And the last step is, of course, just as we mentioned, failures is a must. It will happen, so don't afraid of that. The key point is you need to be persistent and don't give up. Don't just like the first time is a failure, then you just give up. Then it doesn't work. You need to persistence and never give up. So still, these are all the key points I learned from my experience in order for me to be able to improve some of the very critical process in the organizations. They are all the essential elements to help you. And okay, so that is what about design thinking, and what about how you can use that to apply this on process innovations, the tips and the sharings. So now I think this is a very good exercise that I want to give you a kind of like a example, a situations of a company. So company A is a world-class furniture design company. So what company A, the business is the customer will provide the requirements, and then they will deliver the best design for the customers. So they at the back end, they have many different suppliers, and suppliers cost are high with respect to the total cost. So it means that if they sell a product like to the customers as $100, so maybe the cost from the suppliers is already $80. So they make a very limited margins on that. The high cost to the customer are basically because of the high cost from the suppliers. So this is what it means here. Also, the response time from the suppliers can be very long, so delaying their time to give customers the code. So because they need to get the feedback from the suppliers first before they can consolidate every information, then it takes a long time to get back to the customer. So that are the pain points of the customers. So here is the coding process for company A. So let's go through this. So it starts with the customers to provide the requirements, and then the staff and the designer in company A will, based on what the customer wants, they will design the product, and then they will identify what are the raw materials required to to build this product. Then they will next step is to identify what is the suppliers that are able to provide that kind of materials, and they will of course go to get a quote from those suppliers. Then the suppliers will provide the cost, will provide the how much they will need for those materials, and the company A will consolidate all the inputs from different suppliers, so they have a view of what are the total costs it's required to build the product, right? And then based on that, they will add the margins and the design costs on top of this, and from then they'll be able to generate a code to the customers. Then the customers review the design, review the cost of the design. They will determine if it is go or no go. If they kind of like say no, then the process basically end here. But if it is yes, then they will confirm the orders and they will start the order delivery sub-processes. So basically means they will start to manufacture that product and deliver to the customers. So this is the background. So this is a very simple processes. This is a very typical coding processes. Now what I want you to do is, based on what you have learned, can you review this process and tell me what some good ideas you have to change this process, to innovate this process, to make it more effective. The first thing you need to know is what are the right questions. If you go back to this, what is the right questions to ask? What is the right problem you're going to solve? So you can get some background from this slide. You can also reach out to people doing supply coating in other companies. So they usually in a very similar situation. So you can get some feedbacks from relevant people doing this as well. Of course, you can also discuss with me. So what I want you to do is you review this, try to think about this, and then send me your ideas, send me your what you think can do. Then we can learn from each other. Meaning, I can also learn from you because you may have some ideas that I have never thought of before. At the same time, if you send me some ideas, I can, based on my experience, I can comment on this. I can give you feedbacks of whether it is whether some people have tried out, what are the pros and cons of your ideas, how you can improve your ideas, something like this. So the point is we need to try. You always need to, for innovation, it means try and error. You cannot just sit there with the pack and then you know how to innovate something tomorrow. It is not possible. You must get involved. You must try it yourself. So this is what I want to do here. If this is a face-to-face lectures, I can interact with you, but this is an online version, so it's fine. I think we can still do this. We just do it offline. So yeah, you can send your ideas to me. So this is not a homework. This is not something you must do, but I really encourage you to try it out in order if you really want to learn innovations. So yeah, so if you have any ideas, my contact is here in the second slide. So if you have any ideas, you just send it to me, and then I will get back to you. Okay. So I think this is now comes to the end of the sections. So here I just want to recap of what we have learned today. So process innovations use a combination of new methods, capabilities, and technologies to produce, market, deliver, and support a product or provide service that has additional values. So this is the definition of process innovations. So as we mentioned before, process innovations on one hand is enabler of product and business model innovations. On the other hand, innovative business process could be driver of product and business model innovations. They can lead to a new product. They can lead to a new business model. So this is a two-rate connections. Process innovations can be incremental, architectural, or discontinuous. So for incremental innovation, it is about always about updating or upgrading existing processes. But for architectural and discontinuous innovations, usually means you have a redesign of the process or a fundamentally change of the business model. So while process innovation is about disrupting existing ways to do things, process innovation itself requires a structured process to develop and manage ideas to get the best commercial outcomes. Yes, I think this I have emphasized a few times in these lectures. So you need a structured approach to, because there are just too many different ideas. If you don't have a way to properly manage them, structure them, it's very difficult for you to leverage those ideas and turn that finally into a real product, a commercial product. So a structured approach to manage all this is required. So, and then design thinking is a problem-solving approach when they applied it to process innovations. So yes, if you want to do process innovations, you need to know about design thinking. And process innovations via design thinking is about creating new values to customer for empathy. So you need to see from the customer's eyes. Divergent thinking, meaning you collect, as much ideas as possible. Don't limit what you think is possible at the very beginning, and then you prototyping. You build some prototype to test, collaborate with others, other critical elements, and then finally persistencies and a team culture of embracing failures. Don't afraid of failures are keys to success. Okay, so that's are all the key points in this lectures today. I hope you learned something. I hope you can stay safe. So don't hesitate to let me know if you have any comments, any questions, or any ideas about the process innovations that we showed before. So thank you very much for this. Hope to see you all in future lectures as well. So thank you.